becomes our life. And this, my friend, is our life. This is my life and your life, and we're here and we're living it. Hey you. Yes, you. Welcome to the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast, a podcast for people who want to disrupt their lives for a good reason, to make it count. I'm your host, Jen Glantz, and every week I'll drop a new episode with stories from real people just like you, who woke up one morning and decided to make big changes, starting with small things. We'll cover topics like entrepreneurship, love, failure, and self-care. Hey, you're not getting any younger, so let's make this an adventure. Ready? Hey, any youngers, it's me, your host, Jen Glantz, back with another episode of the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast, and not just any other episode. It is December 31st, 2021. It is New Year's Eve. I've never done this before where I have saved recording a podcast until the actual day the podcast goes out. Usually I do it weeks before or the day before. But when I saw that this was going to be New Year's Eve and the podcast was going to go live, I thought it was only right to actually record on New Year's Eve for you. And I'll keep this one super short and super quick because I know everybody out there is chaotically ending their year or getting ready for some plans or just figuring out what is next for them. And it's such an honor to me that you pressed play on this episode. It's Friday afternoon. I actually just woke up from a nap. I could have worked out, but I decided the last day of the year, I wasn't going to put myself through any more stress because ending years is stressful. Looking back at the time that you lived and the situations that occurred and how you survived it all takes a lot out of you mentally, emotionally, and I've been doing that for the past week. So this afternoon, I just called it quits. I went to my bed with Goofy and we napped. We napped for the past hour and a half, and I just woke up to film this, record this for you. Right now on social media, there's so many people posting highlight reels of their year. They're posting the best moments, the best audio clips, the best video clips, and it makes us see those things and look back and wonder why maybe our year wasn't perfect or our year wasn't such a beautiful highlight reel of vacations and trips and adventures and activities, how maybe our year was filled with so much more. A lot of those invisible moments that we don't often see on social media. And as I was scrolling, wondering if I too should make a highlight reel, I thought to myself that if you look back at your year, it's the moments that are in between the big moments that matter even more. It's not getting married. It's not getting a new job. It's not finishing a book or starting a podcast or moving somewhere new. It's the moments in between. It's the conversations where you felt yourself vulnerable and ripped open. It's the days you spent taking a walk and crying because you didn't want anyone else to see, and you also just felt so alone at the same time. It's the pro-con lists that maybe helped you get to a decision or maybe made you even more confused. It's the moments where you thought that you were never, ever going to get out of a situation that was completely bringing you down. It's the times when everybody else thought one thing and you thought the other, and you felt like you were in this constant fight. And it's the struggles that we're still in that we don't have a conclusion for just because it is the end of the year that makes it our year. So sure, while I took some nice pictures and video clips and got married and did all these things this year, that's not what I will remember 2021 for. I will remember it for the moments of strength and courage and bravery and the moments where I wanted to run away or I wanted to give up or I never really wanted to see anybody ever again. Those struggles, the times that really tested me, the times where my character and personality changed for the best, but not until they also changed for the worst first. It's the conversations and challenges I learned to get through in ways that nobody else teaches you how. You know, so much of being a human is learning as you go and learning from mistakes, and nobody teaches you how to deal with challenging situations and have really tough conversations. And no one teaches you how to forgive the people around you when you see them again after years of not seeing them and they completely broke your heart. I mean, that happened twice to me this year. Twice this year, I had interactions with people who completely broke my heart years ago that I hadn't spoken to or seen. And this year they both resurfaced. Like, that's heavy shit to deal with as a human being. And I dealt with that twice this year. Nobody teaches you how to dig yourself out of weird financial situations or what to do when you have your finances and they're a mess and you want to make more money, but you don't know how. And nobody teaches you what to do during the first year of marriage, by the way, which is a whole other beast in itself. So a big part of being human and living our lives in these years that we have is figuring all of this out. And that is not the kind of stuff you see in anybody else's highlight reel. So as you're reeling through the end of the year tonight and today, and you're seeing all this stuff out there, I just want you to know that don't compare and contrast your year to anybody else, because we all have invisible moments and monsters and memories and that we don't always see, and that's okay, from other people. And as you're reflecting on your own year, reflect on all that you've gained, even if you've lost so much, and reflect on all that you've become, even if it's not the person you thought you would become, and reflect on all that has changed, even if it's not the stuff you wanted to change, and reflect on all of the unexpected moments that even in your wildest dreams and your wildest plans and your to-do list galore, you could never have imagined that happened. It's what we remember from the year that becomes our life. And this, my friend, is our life. This is my life and your life. And we're here and we're living it. We're living it now, just like we will at midnight when it becomes a brand new year and it becomes tomorrow. So I'm wishing you a new year, a new adventure, a new chance to figure yourself out. And even if you don't, maybe you'll find yourself. And even if you don't, maybe you'll just discover something that you didn't even know you could discover about your life, your heart, your body, and the world around you. And thank you for pressing play on this podcast, a podcast for people who want to do something different with their life and who want to not feel so alone in it as well. As always, I'm going to be there with you next year in 2022, cheering you on. All my love, Jen Glantz. Hey you! Thank you for listening to the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast. There are hundreds of thousands of pods out there, so thank you for listening to this one. You can find the show notes for this week's episode up on our website, anyyounger.com. Subscribe, rate, and review the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast on iTunes so that other ears around the world can listen too. Oh, and join our secret You're Not Getting Any Younger Facebook group, where over 1,000 people are talking about how to disrupt their lives, for a good reason, to make it count. Until next week, all my love, Jen Glantz.